Hello and welcome back to PowerWash Simulator. When we last left off, we were taking on the helicopter. That would be 3 jobs for the fire department in relatively short order. So let's start at that's not the nozzle I want. Let's start at the bottom, shall we? I remember this one being kind of a pain because there are a lot of like weirdly fiddly bits in it. But let's see how my memory holds up. There's the tire. I feel like I should do everything on the bottom side as soon as possible. If for no other reason than to immediately get it out of the way. And not have to be under the belly of a helicopter. Uh, there we go. Take care of all the landing gear. This one is admittedly a little fiddly. And it's mostly because you have to get in pretty tight quarters. Ammo. Ammo. Come on, oh, there we go. So let's take on this one. Get the landing gear out of the way because, like I said, it can be a little fussy, as you've seen. And we want to make sure that we're not missing anything. So do that as best we can, as quick as we can. Alright. There's the tire. Get all the landing gear. Oh yeah, all of that counts as landing gear too. Let's not forget that. Okay, let's grab that stool, because I think we'd benefit from being able to see a little better. Yeah, like... we're missing all that right there. don't have a ton to talk about today, I think. And I would like to... I don't think talking about the news would be a great idea. Not because it's not important, of course, but because there's so much of it. And that's probably more the reason to talk about it, I guess. But I feel like of all the people you could be talking to or listening to about the news, a lot of it, I think, should be coming from other sources. I'm not necessarily a great source of news. There we go. Take this, and we will put it here. We will clean up this tire. If you're in the States, you probably know about the Lahaina fire. Which is a wildfire that is currently raging across the island of Maui. And, you know, thousands have been... I think a good couple thousand people have been displaced. I think a fair number of people have unfortunately lost their lives as well. And there's a lot of nonsense going on, unfortunately, as a result. And the Hawaiian people, the native Hawaiian population, has respectfully requested that people not come to the island. There is a general blanket request of people not coming to Hawaii anyway, and a lot of that is because a lot of the tourism industry rather, is prioritized over anything else, which means that despite the fact that you have this natural disaster going on, you have a significant lack of space for the people who are living in Hawaii. Like, the hotels are being snatched up, despite the fact that a lot of people have nowhere to go. And a lot of the problem that Hawaiians have with people coming to the islands is, like I said, there is this major prioritization of tourists over the local population, the indigenous population. And that is understandably frustrating. It would be like if your city decided, yeah, this is good and all, but what if instead of doing everything in our power to, you know, help the local populace out, we just took that land and gave it to developers for hotels. And then we took the water supply and redirected it to forest areas. Because that is actually what's happening. I recommend listening to Native Hawaiians on this subject because it is an issue that people there have been dealing with for ages. It's not just, a sudden recent thing. It is an ongoing thing. Because if you aren't from the States, if you are unaware, Hawaii was an independent nation. And that land was taken and colonized. And it is, incidentally enough, it's part of the reason why, the reason why people kind of make a face when you say Hawaiian pizza. Part of the reason is also because the quote-unquote Hawaiian pizza, pineapples and ham on a pizza, which I find delightful, by the way, wasn't even created there. The connection is quite literally pineapple. Pineapple is grown in Hawaii. Despite the fact that it's actually not native to the island, and because it isn't, and despite the fact that it is, I believe it's considered invasive. But yeah, no, I think covers all of that. There's a little bit there, but that's the pineapple's just not from Hawaii, and a lot of the reason it gets associated with the islands is because of Dole. Yep, the fruit company. But I really recommend, because I am not an expert in the matter, I really recommend looking that up. I'm just some guy who has been trying to pay attention to the news without losing my mind, because everything is on fire and it's so very easy to become stressed out about all of it. So I do recommend looking into what's going on. I also recommend listening to Native Hawaiians who are begging and pleading people to listen to them. It is also recommended that if you are going to donate money to the victims, or that you not donate to the Red Cross in the United States. It's generally regarded as not a great idea to donate to the Red Cross in the United States anyway. The Red Cross here in the States is admittedly not great. they kind of have a tendency, from my understanding, to show up and not do much. Um, so I would defer to what Native Hawaiians have been asking of people. Um, I know I'm a bit late talking about this, but yeah, listen to what folks have to say on that one. And I will move on as far as topic goes. But not not just because it's a heavy topic. Because it is. It is a genuinely heavy topic. Um, and I generally avoid doing social justice, not because I don't think it's worth it. I do. It's just I have a very tiny platform, not just here but everywhere. I don't have a very large following any of the social media platforms that I use, and that's fine. I'm not expecting to be like a pro streamer or pro YouTuber or anything like that. I Besides, I haven't been doing this. I've been doing this. I'm telling you, Doc, even if I coast on CO2, I can still feel the difference between a big ginger cat and a pyroclastic flow. Um, I, like I was saying, I don't have a huge platform, and I'm not, like, expecting a massive platform. I'm just, like, I'm having fun here, and that's the whole point. But I know I don't have large platforms, and I know that it is important to get the word out how you can, when you can, where you can. Um, and I know that in this case, though, it might just be better to point people to people who can articulate what's going on a lot better than I can. Because sometimes words don't work so good. And I don't want to misspeak and be sharing incorrect information. So, if you want to learn more about what is currently going on in Hawaii, I recommend looking into creators whose platform is that. Or rather, whose wheelhouse that is. Um, in non-news, as in we're not going to get into more news, we are heading into September. Uh, when this episode is going live, we will be a couple weeks out from September. It should be think the week of the 25th, I would say. So we will be heading into the back half. Well, we're already in the back half, I guess, of sep August. Not in September yet. We're not in September just yet. But we will be going into the back half. Let's do symmetry. Let's do that. We will be in the later end of August and moving into September, which is deep into spooky season. I wanted to do a Halloween game last year. I just wanted to do something that I could do one-off. That never came to be, and it's because like, I don't do Dead by Daylight. It's not a game that I'm terribly interested in. Mostly because I don't like playing co-op, and it's not for some of the obvious reasons. It is admittedly for some of the obvious reasons, but it's also um because I do terribly in co-op games. I do not pick games up like that very quickly, and I always feel really guilty for making other people carry me. Um, and you definitely have people who are like, it's not that big a deal. You're fine. You're doing good. Um, I am an anxiety girly, and nothing you say, despite the fact that you were being super nice to me, will ever convince me that you were being honest about it. And yeah, I know that's a me thing, but um, okay. At the end of the day, I don't care much for the idea of what games, uh, which is really unfortunate because it's like there are a ton of really good games out there, and I know technically you could play in a you know eat every man for themselves kind of way, but that is a very quick way, in my understanding, to get people to really not like you. And I am very much the again. I'm a nervous girly. I have anxiety, and I am constantly terrified that I am screwing something up in such a catastrophic manner that it is unsalvageable. Which, incidentally enough, is also part of the reason why uh, I am okay with not going back into working graphic design. If I could work a job where I can just not have to worry about that, not have to deal with that anxiety, that'd be great. Very sniffly today. Let's see. Get design teeth wash. Ooh, there we go. And of course, I picked just as the garbage was running to start recording. So if I have to stop for a minute, that is actually why. No, I don't know how well Mike picked up what's going on outside. And I am, in fact, listening to the garbage trucks run because it's garbage day. So, um, oh, excuse me. Let's get that. And from the sounds of it, we're good so far, which is nice. I'm missing something. That's cleaning it up. Clean that up. Well, that's a terrible sound. Okay, sounds like we are golden for the moment. I just didn't want to deal with the sound of the of course seem to possibly be wrong on that actually. So there we go. So we got the water tank. Now I think we can actually let's take on this part of the fuselage. I don't want it to do the underside before I did anything else. So, for some odd reason, the one thing's for sure, letting the chief know my predicament saved my smoky bacon. I owe you one. well, you know. Um, but for some reason, if you've been on the internet for a long enough time, you are probably familiar with Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, and to the people who I have inevitably uh, caused great pain and anguish, I am very sorry. I don't know why it's on my mind either, which is extra hilarious because I've never actually seen the whole thing. Um, for the people who have no idea what I'm talking about, thank your lucky stars, because it was a phenomenon. That is the wrong direction we want. Um, that's also not close enough. It may have to be as close as we can. Yeah. Um, and I don't, again, I don't know why it's suddenly on my mind. Uh, I, because again, I've never actually seen all of Dr. Horrible. I've seen a little bit. I think saw the, I think I saw up to like the bad horse bit and never saw anything beyond that. Uh, did really like some of the songs. And I think maybe the reason that it's suddenly on my mind is because I said it's garbage day, and my brain went, garbage day? Oh, but what about laundry day? And that is, unfortunately, a spiral that I will probably have to pull myself out of. Because, no thank you. Um, I have no issues. Oh, that's a lie. Say what you will, say what you might, feel how you wish. But I am not a fan of Joss Whedon's, and Dr. Horrible's is in fact a Joss Whedon um, project. And again, you know, feel however you want to about what I just said, but I, I'm not a big fan. And a lot of it is partially due to his the way he's treated some properties. Like his choice of like handling some of the Avengers stuff when I was still actively watching like Marvel stuff. I wanted to like the first Avengers movie so badly, and there were really good parts of it, like um, the scene between Loki and Hulk at towards the end. You know, the oft memed. If you're on certain parts of the internet, you know the part I mean. Uh, I I thought that scene was really funny. I did not care for a lot of the rest of the movie though. Um, I have not seen any of the rest of the movies, and it's not just because of Joss Whedon, but it's also because of burnout, honestly. it's a million and one movies, and in order to have any real understanding of what's going on, you kind of have to watch all of them. And no, thank you. I saw Thor Ragnarok, and I liked that. Like, that was well done. And, like, I saw the first Thor movie, so I had context for that. I didn't see two. I've not seen, despite the fact that I think, own the first Spider-Man movie. I'm not a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, so I never watched the Doctor Strange movies. I've seen all of the first Iron Man and bits and pieces of two, but I never watched three. Um, I saw the first Captain America movie. I never watched two. I've not seen any of the I've not seen Black Panther. Uh, oh, sorry about that. I don't think you wanted to hear me hack up a lung. I, I'm okay. Just, it's allergy season. Oh, didn't realize that. Um, but yeah, I've seen some of the Avengers movies, but by the time I think the second Captain America came out, I was exhausted. I was done. And I think that's kind of part of the issue that a lot of people are having. Like, these gigantic cinematic universes, and I don't have a problem with a cinematic universe. It's neat. It's a fun way to, tie stuff together, but it's also a lot of stuff to watch. Especially when you have, these big individual pieces. And you're supposed to care about, like, all of it. And that's fine. I don't, I don't really have the energy for that. Um, and I'm not going to watch both those movies because I know myself. And I've just burnt out on so much media. And it's sad because, like, you want to like this stuff, you want to care. They make it so hard. And I just, I cannot bring myself to care anymore. And it's really a shame because I like, well, I, I grew up watching the animated X-Men series. The one in the, like, the one in the 90s. So, the early 90s, I should specify, because I think there were a couple series in the 90s. Um, but yeah, no, I grew up watching X-Men. I grew up with Spider-Man. And, like, I loved that stuff as a kid. But they kind of beat you over the head with it to a point where it's like the worst case of fatigue. And I don't know if that's like on purpose or if that's something else or if it's just rampant greed because let's be honest here, that is wholly a possibility. You know, you have 50 movies coming out a year in the same, like, not in the same franchise, but in like the same universe, and it's like, when do you have the time? And I'm sure somebody's gonna say, well, you just make the time. If you're really a big fan, I thought I was. And then, you know, add to the fact that you're kind of expected to be in the theater. And despite everything, we are in fact still in the middle of a pandemic. Um, and I don't have go to the movie every other week money. I never have. So, like, a lot of that's lost on me anyway. Um, I don't know. I wanted, I, I wanted to like a lot of the Avengers stuff. A lot of the stuff written by Joss Whedon, I genuinely don't like. Not a particularly big fan of Joss Whedon. You know, and I'd fallen head over heels in love with, like, Firefly, which is another Joss Whedon property. But if you, like, look at it for longer than a second, you start to see a lot of the problems with it as a piece of media, which is really rather a shame because it could have been so good. But it was written so poorly. It was done so poorly. Uh, okay. That was a thing I just did. Let's move this. I think that might help just a little bit. Let's use that one. I love how this has turned from me talking about why I don't like Joss Whedon to, and another thing, the way we handle media these days is just travesty. Because I can't get to the point if you gave me a map. Fortunately, I'm sorry. Oh, good. Um, I have a general inability to find the point, to get to it, and to summarize it. I apologize in advance. But if we end up friends, I am going to talk you into a circle. And it isn't that I don't know what I'm talking about, or it isn't that I'm uninformed. It's just generally I don't have the ability to get to the point to save my life. There's always going to be caveats, and there's always going to be qualifiers. There was another good thing that came out of it. You remember we moved into Florine's old place? Vaguely? I think? Well, guess who's a copter pilot now? You don't say. Anyway, it's rude to text on a date, so I better go. Yeah, generally it's considered rude to text on a date. Um, but yeah, if we ever become friends in some form or fashion, just know that I promise I'm not talking your ear off on purpose. It's just I've not found the point and I cannot get to it. I have a point, I promise. I just... Oh, getting there is gonna take a while. The other part of the engine... Oh. We have to clean the engine mount, and then we have to do, like, the rotors and all that. And that bit. Um, okay, there we go. Move up here, because we need to clean the engine mount. There we go. And we do also need to clean rotors. So let's clean them from here. I always wanted to ride in a helicopter. I don't ever see that happening. In a lot of ways, I kind of pray it never does. And I'm not the praying sort. Not necessarily because anything bad is liable to happen, but unfortunately, I think it's kind of expensive, and honestly, I don't want to be the poor bloke that has to ride in a helicopter. You're in dire straits if you have to ride in a helicopter. That's like if you have to be helivac'd out, you're in trouble. Nobody wants to be subject to the helivac ride. And for what it's worth, I hope you never have to experience it. And I hope nobody you know ever has to experience it. And if they have, I am sincerely sorry, and I hope they have or had made a speedy recovery, and if not, I am sorry for your loss. And please, I do apologize if that sounds flippant. I don't mean it to be. Okay, let's... switch back to that. But yeah, I would love to ride a helicopter. I don't see it happening. Uh, we go. Like I said, I don't want to come to be riding in a helicopter the way a lot of people end up coming to be riding in a helicopter. So, yeah, I mean, I think they're neat, but unfortunately, I also live under a flight path, so I also think they're very loud. There's nothing quite like a military helicopter, you know, flying over your house, and it's all you can hear. Neat pieces of technology, very loud. See how much more I can, because this is going to be another one of those videos that, because I'm so far done, it's just going to be one video instead of trying to break it up. There we go. It genuinely makes no sense to try to make this 2 videos, because it's going to be like 5 minutes, and then we're going to find ourselves kind of doing doing something else. I like to excuse me. I like to get as much covered as humanly possible. Uh, there we go. In one go as possible. So this one, like the last couple, might be a little long, but it's genuinely so, you know, there is no breaking up of that last little bit. Because it doesn't make any sense. Um, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I do try to keep to uh, a like 50-minute, 55-minute mark. It isn't always possible though. But yeah. Uh, this is gonna be one of those need to get off. Oh, you're gonna make me work for that. You're gonna make me work for it. There we go. Okay. Find the ladder. There we go. Oh, didn't like that. Uh, the underside of the rotors. It's one. I think we're also at the point where I can get the next tier up of, that's two. Uh, the next tier up of the washer. I actually might do that. Um, that's three. Leave that there. Four. I have a distinct feeling I'm missing something. We'll go. I'll finish this one and then we'll go up. Um, that's fine. Okay. So my concern. We clean that. I think that's like one. Yeah, there we go. That. I missed a rotor. Go. Let's go over and take care of that one. I think I we're stable. Yep, okay. I did a good job in taking care of all of that properly. There we go. We're gonna need to get that from the top. Let's take care of this side of the rotors though. There we go. That's better. That one's gonna have to be taken care of from the top. There we go. Yeah. That's fine. That's There we go. I was being fussy. Uh, there we go. There we go. That took a little longer than I'd wanted it to, but it wasn't that bad. Uh, the Mayor's Mansion is actually the next one, so, and that actually means I'm going to have to hit up the store. Um, but that's actually where we're going to call it for today. So I have been Dorknut, this has been PowerWash Simulator, and when we come back, we are going to clean the Mayor's Mansion. And if you enjoyed this video, or any of the videos in the series, or any of the videos I've ever done, consider leaving this video a like, consider subscribing to the channel, because it helps with metrics, and consider hitting the notification bell so you know when I upload, even if it is really regular. I also have a coffee. You can find me at ko-fi.com/dorkanaut. That is ko-fi.com/dorkanaut. If you're so inclined to leave a tip, but please do not feel obligated. Um, but yeah, come see me again sometime, won't you? Goodbye.